Holy shit, I just saw some lights moving across the screen. That scared the shit out of me. Can you see the lights moving across the power lines there? It looks like there's like UFOs flying through the sky. Wow. Alright, so looks like we picked a good spot. Yeah, I like this spot. Kind of makes me feel like I'm in GTA. Like maybe I should just pull a baseball bat out and get this guy on the bike. Take his bike, take his money, and then go and buy some rocket launchers and shit. I think we'll let him go. You lucky bastard. Alright. So yeah, we're still in the thick of clown world and all the stupid bullshit that goes along with that. You notice there's disposable fucking face masks all over the ground and shit now, and like I'm sure they're all through the sea and just everywhere. And yeah. Where were you on that one, Thunberg, you fucking doom goblin? So yeah, it's pretty nasty. A lot of places I've seen there are just face masks everywhere all over the floor. And a face mask with like someone's daily spit, or probably multiple days worth of spit in it, and bacterial pneumonia and whatever the fuck else is in there. It looks about as inviting as a fresh nappy with shit in it, just thrown on the ground. They look particularly unsightly, those surgical type masks. And yeah, you're starting to see them everywhere. It's no good. Tonight we're going to talk about material possessions and having actual love, and I mean real love and care for, and gratitude for material possessions, which I think most people are severely lacking, especially in the modern world. I think as in the past things were harder to make, they were built to last and that sort of thing, that material possessions often meant a lot more to more people. They took better care of them, and that this translated into a lot of other aspects of their life. Keeping on with the law of allegory, or the law of correspondence, as above so below, as within so without. He who takes care of his material possessions is more likely to take care of other aspects of his life. He who does not give a shit about his material possessions or even mistreats them is likely to do the same thing in other aspects of his life. So I notice it's something I've definitely picked up on in life is how I really cherish pretty much most of my material possessions, and I have deep love for a lot of them, and I treat them with great care and show a lot of gratitude, and I'm appreciative of what my possessions can do for me, be it tools or even things like a camera or a recorder, because all these things enhance my life, and without them my life would be less. This guy. But I think people are not very aware of this these days, and I've noticed that while a lot of my possessions last a long time, 10 years and stuff, a lot of people have the same possessions and they smash them like within weeks or within minutes. But often people's possessions don't last very long. Most people, their smartphone, the screen is smashed. Their headphones are broken within a week. They smash their computer within a few years, if not within a year. And they're constantly replacing things because they show no care or effort to care about these things, and they treat them like shit, and they never have any real gratitude for them. They just sort of expect that they have all this stuff in the modern world, and people have all this shit. In fact, most people store large amounts of shit that they never even use and just sits there collecting dust, which is actually a form of entropy. And I guess a severe case of this is a hoarder who has actually externalized his own anxiety issues with the entropy of material possessions that he has no use or love for. He just has an anxiety disorder that will not allow him to get rid of the stuff. And I think a lot of people would benefit greatly by showing more love and appreciation for the so-called inanimate objects that they own, supposedly paid money for, meaning that they thought they had some value, and yeah, to show some gratitude for this stuff. And I think they will find it enhances their life and gives them great appreciation for what they have. And yeah, it also helps that things will last longer and you'll get better use out of them, things like that. But I've known most people in my life are destroyers of things. They destroy everything they own. Within no time at all, the thing is damaged, or there's huge aesthetic damage to something, or yeah, it doesn't work the way it's intended because of rough treatment. And I've noticed this is the normal way that people are and treat their stuff, and I think they pay for it dearly. You also notice the way most people treat their children, their spouse, their workmates, people around them, like someone in a service job serving them coffee or something, how they treat people who make their food, clean their house, how they treat their pets. What you'll see is that most people have a tyrannical relationship with the things around them, the items they possess, and a lot of the relationships in their life. You'll especially see this with pets. A lot of people treat their pets like some just slave who's supposed to do exactly what the master tells it to at all times. And what I realized, yeah, that this stems from this belief that you're sort of owed all this stuff, and it's just, you just have it. It doesn't really mean anything because you just sort of deserve it as like a baseline of existence, rather than you don't really deserve any of this stuff. You're lucky to have it, and you really should show gratitude for that. And you'll probably find that your tools and your items respond with the same love, and you'll get more out of them because they get more out of you. I mean, there's nothing worse than seeing like a really expensive, great instrument or something just sit there doing nothing when someone should be playing it or appreciating it. Or yeah, fine art locked away in a vault, money that's not being spent, electronic equipment that's not being used just sits there collecting dust. All these things are a terrible sight. And I guess this is another thing. If you have any possessions that you don't have any love or gratitude for, then I guess that begs the question is, why do you have them? It's probably a good time to get rid of them And you'll actually probably feel a bit of a burden released off your shoulders if you offload your junk or stuff that you have no real appreciation for onto someone else who could appreciate it. I think there would be karmic results in that, as the universe is now better because of those moves you made, rather than possessions that could be loved are sitting there gathering dust and entropy. And I think, obviously there's a lot of people out there who have way more than they need and they don't appreciate any of it, and it's all just sitting there, when all of that stuff would be better off in the hands of the needy, who would probably appreciate just about anything that you gave them. And the cycle is definitely out of whack here, but I think a very clear way to see what should be done in this situation is, how much love do you have for your possessions? How much gratitude do you have, and how much do you use these things? How much do they enhance your life? And if the answer is not much or none at all, then you probably should sell the stuff, throw it out, or give it to someone else. And I think if you were to show more love, like literally tell your tools that you love them. You might feel stupid, but I can tell you you're stupid that you've never done this. I wouldn't be surprised if your work and your tools start performing twice as good as they used to because you do this. People who grow the supersized vegetables that no one can get anything near, like 500 kilogram pumpkins and that, all of these people say that the secret is to show love to the vegetables and to treat them with care and compassion and all that, as you would a human. And that is the true secret to how they get these massive vegetables. I've heard it countless times. And I'm sure it is the sort of person who has that level of devotion towards vegetables that is going to get the most out of them, just like anything else. Now, everything I've talked about here relates directly how we relate to each other. All of these same people who just expect they can just treat their possessions however they want, mistreat them, throw them around, break them, damage them, force them, use them inappropriately, all this sort of thing. They think they can just do that and get away with it. Well, they'd be completely wrong. You can't get away with it. And this is the sort of situation we see ourselves in today. We have leaders, so-called, and politicians, bureaucrats, and all these other fuckheads, useless, parasitic individuals who have no true worth. These people treat the public as if they were their tools, and they have no care for them. They're there to do as they wish and to show them no respect, and that people should just respond. And there's no two-way love going on. It's more do as you're told, as the poor tradesman treats his shitty tools and his crap work and dodgy tradesmanship is the results. And it's the same thing with our governments, our mayors, police, all of that. They all treat us like shit because they do not have gratitude for the fact that they've got a job, they've got a responsibility and all of this. They just think, no, I'm owed all this stuff and I can do whatever I want with it. I can mistreat these people however I will and it won't affect me. Well, sadly, they're all wrong. There's no way out of this. And if you look at the aesthetic qualities and the sort of things that the elites think about and the sort of things that they do, what they spend their time thinking about and doing, you can see that their lives are something closely resembling hell. They might be at the top level of the hierarchy, but they're still in hell. And it's because of this fucked up attitude that they have. And they're all tyrants. But don't you think for 1 second that the vast majority of humanity, given the same amount of power, responsibility, authority, anything like this, that they wouldn't become the same tyrants? Look at how they treat their headphones, their phone, their children, their pets, their friendships, their spouses, all of this. And don't think that they would treat you any different given even the slightest amount of power. And here we have the very source of all of today's problems is that people with power, believing that it's owed to them or some shit, neglecting their responsibility and mistreating the things that they should be loving. And of course, they get no love in return. The only love they get is from the weak and from the easily duped, which is no form of love that anyone wants anyway. It's the consolation prize at best. More like, it's like the Nobel Prize. It's like getting a prize when you didn't earn it and you didn't do anything, just because you're a dickhead who did what you were told. And sadly, there are millions who will queue up for that notoriety and the medal of fake notoriety, basically, fake glory, and people are happy with that, it would seem. But you can't escape it in the end. You know you're a fucking snake if you are a snake. You know you're a loveless, ungrateful piece of shit if that's what you are, and there's no escaping this. Just as the man who loves all of his possessions and all of those in his life, even his enemies, that this is truly the greatest path. And I'd say not a single fucking politician or authoritarian out there seems to have any understanding of this at all. God fucking help us. Alright everyone, so if you want to improve your life and become a better person, you can start by showing more love to the so-called inanimate objects around you and the people that we share this world with. But most of you aren't going to do that. So, on we go. Alright everyone, until next time.